There are a ton of pictures online of Elvis Presley presenting President Richard Nixon with a commemorative Colt 1911 A1. The reason Elvis was able to get his hands on a 1911 commemorative to present to Richard Nixon is because a fellow who used to work for Colt, his name is Don Mitchell. Have you heard of Mitchell's Mausers? Here in Orange County, that's the guy, Don Mitchell. Don and his wife, and forgive me, I do not remember Mrs. Mitchell's first name. Mrs. Mitchell's the artist. They come up with this idea to do a commemorative series, first, of World War I guns. Mrs. Mitchell does all the artwork that's going to go on the slide, the presentation box, the packaging. She does the artwork for all of it. Remember, Don's still got a relationship with Colt, so this is not like a tough feat to pull off. There's a lot involved with creating a commemorative series, but that's how that whole ball got rolling. So we now have, since then, lots of different commemoratives that have been done subsequently to this original ones. However, Elvis gets his hands on a commemorative 1911, presents it to President Nixon. There's lots of photographs online. You want to go take a look at those, you can see the whole bit. Now, after President Nixon leaves office, of course, a lot of presidents, they get a library, they've got their legacy stuff that they're doing. This is where I come in. People at the National Archives, Richard Nixon Museum here in Yorba Linda, contacted me several months ago, and they have been given this directive to ensure that everything that they have in terms of firearms and ammunition that's on presentation in cases or however they're doing it needs to be inert or dummy rounds in the display. They don't want any ammunition to go with a gun on display. Okay, so they contact me to see if I can ensure all of this, that they're complying with their directives. Happy to do it, come on by. So I posted that video yesterday. Wonderful women that come by here from their National Archives people, the Richard Nixon Museum in Yorba Linda. And there's several cartridges along with the Elvis ammo, and the video that I posted was the quick thing on the Elvis ammo. They were inert, they were dummy rounds in the presentation box. But there was some other miscellaneous things. Remember Watergate, Haldeman, Ehrlichman, John Haldeman presented Richard Nixon with some linked ammunition that he had brought back from Vietnam. Now, I did not get the story on exactly what the deal was with the linked ammo Haldeman gave to Richard Nixon, so I'm not going to open my mouth and speculate. I can tell you that there was actual ammunition, there was a tracer in the link, and I'm going to leave it right there. So all of that is now as the directives from whoever these people are above to make sure that everything's inert. They're dummy rounds. They are. There was also an 8 Mauser cartridge that had 50 grains of an extruded powder. Couldn't tell you what it was, but for what that's worth. So all of that got taken care of. And then as I was looking at this dummy cartridges that were with the Elvis ammo, I noticed that these were plated. Now the plating on this, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's the exact same color of the Platinum series that I get from Acura. So the Platinum series bullets that I get from Acura are the exact same color. So that plating is the same with the brass. And in that ammo, by the way, it is a 230 round nose. That's with that ammunition. But what they did is the casing is empty, but they've got an actual primer, but it's been drilled through. So it looked like they took a dead primer, cleaned it up, drilled a hole in it, put that in the bottom of the case, no powder, and then just seeded a projectile. And then it appears that that whole thing then was plated, because it's all the exact same tone. So for what that's worth, it was kind of an interesting day yesterday to be visited by people from the National Archives, the Richard Nixon Museum. If you get a chance to go up there, these are absolutely wonderful people. They're two-way people, they're doing the right thing, they're keeping all of this alive. Happy trails.